Hey, shall we go live? Shall we be live? Is my computer going to do all lovely things? And is the internet going to play with me today? Yay! Welcome to Monday. Yes, I sound like a teacher when I say that, but conscious that it's almost the end of Monday. Some of you are still waking up and it's Sunday. I've been really brave this afternoon. There is this fantastic group on Facebook called Therapists in Private Practice, and they have this Marketing Monday. And I rarely post in Marketing Monday because they don't like things done on Sunday. But by the time it gets to my Monday, their Monday, the US Monday, I've already forgotten about it and moved on to 100 other things. So I've had a go at putting it in on my Monday afternoon. So if anyone from that group is unhappy with me, I apologize for that. I've just got a really cool offer that I wanted to share with people coming into, this part of the year, because it's kind of halfway through August already. Hello, lovely Carol and gorgeous Adele. It's lovely to have you here on this live episode with me. So it's a big week here and it's all going to be systems go. I've spent today working on the second session of training for my team members on delivery of the fatigue management program, which is excellent. I'm very excited about that. I'm actually not an occupational therapist. However, if you were in my office today, you may have been forgiven for thinking that I was. I had lots of very tactile things going on and lots of folders being made. Hey, Beck, seeing you tomorrow, woohoo! And I'm just sharing with my OT experience and all my fine motor skills being used and my need to visually represent everything as I go. Anyway, we got there and I'm very proud of this training that I've pulled together for my team. And I was going through some of the previous programs that I've run with clients and was writing out, capturing some of the language that they use. I find that such a powerful thing to be able to reflect back to clients their specific words without interpretation. And I've got about 4 pages of kind of quotes that clients have used, and it was bringing a tear to my eye today, just the transformation that goes on in this program. And really excited. I also had a physiotherapist call me out of the blue who has noticed that we're running this program and wants to know if it's something that her clients can participate in and how we make that work. So it's a networking conversation to be had there. But I want to talk to you something specific about fatigue today. I'm going to talk to you about the 3 different types of fatigue. And I'm just giving this as a bit of an introduction, not because I want to sell you the fatigue management program, but so you can understand what's going on when you get overwhelmed. So we often experience fatigue in our bodies as a physical sensation. We all know when our body is fatigued. It's very easy to go, I am tired. And in fact, how often do we say that and how often do we hear it? I am tired. I am tired. It's kind of the thing that we say now. How are you? I'm tired. How are you? I'm tired. But what sort of tired are you? So there's physical fatigue. And in a gym, that's really powerful. Everybody wants to get to the point of failure. It's one of the few places I know of where failure is actually the thing everyone is striving for. So you want to work a muscle or a muscle group to the point of failure where it just can't work anymore. So we understand that sense of physical fatigue. And that's how most of us interpret or speak about fatigue. It's from our physical experience. But we also have cognitive fatigue, and that's the fatigue that comes when we've used our brain a lot. And we've often heard this in terms of brain fog, or we'll have some word finding difficulties, or there'll be just this sense of your brain not working the way it used to work. Cognitive fatigue is a real thing, and it's not actually combated by mindlessly scrolling through your Facebook feed or watching TV. But if you've been dealing with clients all day, if you've been assessing all day, if you've been managing risk all day, if you've been doing that interspersed with writing notes, chances are you're going to be cognitively fatigued. And there's a big chunk of our brain right here in the front that uses 85% of our entire energy reserves for our brain. So if we're not keeping our nutrition up to date, if we're not keeping our water intake up to date, and if we're not stimulating some of those endorphins, then our brain actually isn't going to work. But a really good way of combating cognitive fatigue is to do something physical. And a really good way of addressing physical fatigue is to do something cognitive. They work really well together. But there's a fatigue that I've noticed, and it's a lot of Joe opinion here, but there is research to back it up, is we get fatigued by people. And I think this is so freaking important for those of us who work with people day in and day out. And I call it social fatigue. Some people call it emotional fatigue. Some people call it I am peopled out. That's one of my favorite phrases. But quite often being around people or having to deal with emotions, having to deal with the stimulation that comes with being with one or two people or lots of people can cause a fatigue that makes it a little hard for us to self-regulate. So we find that we might get tearful, or we get agitated or irritable, or we just shut down. I'm very good at the just shutting down bit. If I've had a lot of delivery in a day, it gets to about 7:30 in the evening and I'm just shutting down. So there's just no more emotional stimulus room in my head. And that's a coping strategy and a way that I cope. So 3 fatigues. We've got physical fatigue, cognitive fatigue, and social and emotional fatigue. And they're all relevant. And sometimes you're going to feel awesome, and sometimes you're not going to feel so great. Sometimes you're going to find physical fatigue means that you can't do things, but cognitive fatigue means you can't do other things. But I think it's really important, especially if for those of us who go from session to session to session, and a lot of us can do that, just not all day, every day for our entire career. But how are we going to break up fatigue? Because fatigue, if it's left unchecked, will lead to not so great things. And that's a discussion for another day, but burnout's right at the height of that list. So there are some simple things that we can be doing to look after our energy this week. Make sure that we're looking after ourselves physically, psychologically, and emotionally. Making sure that we're drinking lots of water, that is. Making sure that we're taking some time to go outside and enjoy the sunshine. Making sure that we're not asking of ourselves things that are actually unreasonable, that if we had a client in front of us, that we would go, please go and see, 17 clients in a day. That's completely okay. For me today, I had noticed that I didn't have yoga this morning, and that was okay. But my clutter in my office was getting out of control. And when I have a lot of visual stimulation, I get overwhelmed. When I get overwhelmed, I don't deal with people very well. But it was like every available flat surface had a pile of paper on it. So my self-care to myself today was to address that. And I've cleaned out folders, and I have got surfaces that are bare now, and I actually enjoy being in this space again. That has done wonders for my energy levels today. And it's not because I've been avoiding anything else. It's re-energizing me, because I'm not wasting energy freaking out about all the stuff that hasn't been put away, or where is that thing that I might lose, or where is that thing that I should have done by now. Everything in its place, and every place for a thing. We have a whole declutter project that we work on in the fatigue management program. You'd be surprised at how confronting it really is for people, but it's useful and it's helpful. Yes, Carol, oxygen really helped. Oh, hey, Kelsey. Hello. So a little bit of an instructional video there today, helping you understand your energy levels a little better. I'm hoping that we can have a fantastic week this week. I have got one of these videos brewing about some discussions that I had with my team and perception of being expensive last week. But I haven't found myself being able to speak about it without getting extremely angry and ranty. So I just want to calm that down a little bit so that I can have a useful conversation. So here's to a fantastic week ahead. I'm looking forward to catching up with many of you online and in person this week. This is Private Practice. Let's go forth and be the best possible versions of ourselves that we can.